Hey, what's up everybody? This is GeekyAviseq and today I am bringing you the review of the Garmin Vivo Active 3. This watch has been out for a few years, and why I am doing this review now is I'll tell you. So if you are an electronics deal enthusiast and you have been watching electronics deals here in the US, you would have noticed in the last month or few weeks there had been a lot of deals on wearables, especially smartwatches and fitness trackers. It is at a point where it's very hard to keep track of which device you should get if you want to get it, and if you have already got it, if you buy the next one. So there were a lot of good deals on some of the premium devices like the Garmin Fenix 5 Plus, 5X, and the 5. And then there was also a lot of deals on the Amazfit T-Rex, the Apple Watch, the Misfit Vapor, the Fossil watches, both their hybrid, non-hybrid versions, and then this Garmin one. So there's been so many options out there. I got few of them, and I liked many of them, and it's really hard to decide between one over the other. And I am a tech enthusiast. I do my reviews. I test out devices. So if it's hard for me, I can assume how much hard it is for someone who is new to all this. So I decided to make this review of the Garmin Vivo Active 3, and I'm also going to quickly compare it with the Samsung Galaxy Active 2 watch, which is also available on a deal from Amazon Warehouse or used device for $140. And then I'm going to also compare this with the Misfit Vapor X, which was an Android Wear OS smartwatch. So that would apply to any of the other Google Wear OS watches. So it will help you to distinguish between which ecosystem or what kind of device you should go to, and what's the fuss about Garmin versus the rest. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the review. So let me first give you a close look at this watch. So right now you can get this watch for $130 from any of the major retailers, and I was lucky enough to be able to score this for $70. Yes, but this is a Garmin factory refurbished unit. So the deal that I was talking about was from a couple of weeks back from GPS Nation. So they sold this Garmin factory refurbished VivoActive 3 for $70 and free shipping to your home. It includes 1 year Garmin warranty and 2 years from GPS Nation. And when I looked them up, it seems like that store has been around for a long time, and they have really good service and they take care of customers. So I decided to give it a try, and I received this watch, and this watch looks new, and I have been using it for the last 10 days and it's working fine. There's only one thing that I noticed. There was no scratches or scuffs as such, as you can see. The only thing that I noticed was this, let the camera focus. Okay, so this tiny ding here, or dent on the back casing, but other than that the watch is in perfect condition, even though it is a refurbished one. So now the thing that I really liked about this watch, even though I have so many other fitness watches and fitness trackers, is how the watch looks and feels. It's super light, it's super comfortable, but it feels quality. It doesn't, there's no amount of cheapness associated with this watch, even though this is so light and comfortable to wear. And the size, let me put it on my wrist. For someone with a medium wrist, the size seems to be like perfect. I mean, it's not too small, it's not too bulky, and it just fits just right, and it feels amazing when it's on the wrist. So overall, in terms of build quality and the comfort, I would rate it like excellent. I really like the watch. Now let's take a close look at the different functions of the watch. So in terms of display, this has this transreflective display, which it means it's a negative display. So it reads better when it's out in the bright sunlight. So it reflects the external light source, and then it looks brighter. So for indoors, you would see it a little bit dimmed like this. I know this is harder to read because of my camera angle, but it's trust me, it's not really that bad. And then it also has backlit when you are in dark situations. So it does also have few goodies compared to my Fenix 5, the other review that I did. It's a much cheaper watch, but it's more like a smartwatch versus a heavy duty fitness tracker like the Fenix series. So in terms of smartwatch convenience features, it has a touchscreen. It also has a touch sensitive bezel, so you can actually scroll through the menu by just touching the bezel, and you can move through that. And the third good thing that it has is it has Garmin Pay, so you can add your payment methods. So you would be able to buy a coffee or a drink after a workout if you are wearing this watch and you don't have your wallet or phone on yourself. Now let's take a look at the different options. So if you tap and hold, that takes you to the settings app. So the first one lets you choose between different watch faces. These are all default ones, and there was a few default ones, and the one that I'm currently using is the one that I downloaded from the Garmin Connect IQ app store. Those two are the ones from downloaded, but the other ones were the default ones. And I really like the one that I currently have. Is it gives you a lot of, you know, matrices right on your wrist without having to go through. It gives you my battery percentage, it gives my heart rate, it gives me a count of my notifications, shows the date, day, month, the time, as well as my Bluetooth connectivity, my steps count, my staircase count, seconds count, move meter, so many stuff. Okay, so now if you press and hold, it takes you to the settings. Next option is clocks. So you can have your stopwatch here, you have your timer here, you have your alarms here, and then you have your time settings here. So you can set it for 12-hour or 24-hour format, or you can do it source auto, which means it will automatically sync with the GPS on your phone, and then you can also do it through the GPS. Then let's go back and see history. History is basically history of all the activities and workouts I have been doing. So if you go to activities, it lists my activities that I have been doing. And then if I go back, this is, so if you tap on that, that will take you to more detailed view of the activity. So the distance, let me focus. So the distance I had worked, the time that I had taken, the pace, the calories, average heart rate, maximum cadence, and ascent, descent, laps, HR zones, and everything. There's a lot of information that the Garmin provides you. The next one is totals. That's also total of the activities that I had been doing. And then you have options, which basically lets you delete all the activity histories and can helps you reset all the totals. Then you have my stats. That's basically the first option is VO2 max. That's Garmin way of giving you, how efficient your body is in oxygen utilization. So it's being rated as 44, which is good. And if you scroll down, it will let you know how well your body is doing in utilizing the oxygen. And then you have records, which basically records of all the activities, similar to what we've seen before. And then your resting HR is basically your heart rate when I'm resting, and it shows the last 7-day view. So right now my average is at 62. Then comes settings, and in the settings the first option is activities and apps. So this is where you set your shortcuts. So basically you can set your shortcuts and the activities. Then you have widgets. That's also the widgets basically tell you in which way or in order, the options on your when you swipe. I'll come to that in just a second. That's where you set the the order of the display. And then you have controls menu. So basically tells you once you press and hold the power button or the only button, what kind of options that should bring up. Then you have your watch face again. Then sensors and accessories lets you choose between the heart rate is being measured through your wrist, or you have a chest strap. And then you have compass. So this watch does also pair with, it supports ANT plus. So if you have a ANT plus another Garmin chest strap, you can also get your heart rate from that chest strap. Then you have your settings for your phone. So that's basically tells the connection status, notifications, and connection alerts. So basically if it gets disconnected or connected, if this is turned on, that will actually show up on your watch. And then you have user profile, which is basically my age, my height, weight, all that stuff. And then activity tracking is basically the status. It gives me status of my activity throughout the day. I also have enabled move alert. So if I'm idle for a while, the watch lets me alerts me to go on, move, and get some steps done. And then auto activity start. It's basically if I'm working out, the watch will automatically detect my workouts and will log it. And then intensity minutes is the amount of minutes that I had been working out. And then system gives me Now auto lock is off. I haven't really put. Lets you choose your language, and then again the time settings and orientation. So basically you can tell the watch which way you are wearing. Then automatically the display will rotate whether you want to have the button on facing towards you or facing outwards. And then the side swipe, this is how it is. So I have inverted it, so when I swipe down, the menu goes up, so it's set up for inverted. And then you have a physio tune up, and then backlight lets you choose between different modes. Gesture means when you twist your wrist, it will automatically turn on. You can set the timeout, you can set the brightness levels, and then you can also set the vibration intensity, and then you can also set it up for do not disturb. So if you set it up do not disturb, what it does is within the app you can configure your sleeping hours. So during that time, if you get any notifications, the watch will not show you those notifications, or it wouldn't vibrate. Then units, it lets you set the units. Data recording is on a smart mode, so basically each time you finish an activity, it automatically collates all the data, saves it, and syncs up to Garmin Connect whenever it can connect to your phone and sync it up with your online Garmin Connect. USB mass storage is basically, this watch also has another version, which is the VivoActive 3 Music. There it has internal storage, and so you should be able to copy some songs on that, and you would be able to listen to those while you are on a workout, or maybe you went for a running or cycling. But unfortunately this is just the VivoActive 3 and it doesn't come with that storage. Then you have option for restoring it to defaults, to factory settings, and then software update, and then about basically gives you all these information about that watch. Now let's take a look. So the other thing that you can do is swipe from bottom to up. So the first thing that came up, I showed you before that this is the widgets. So these are the widgets. So first one I have set it up is notifications. Then it's my day, summary of my steps and calories. And then I have, this is the total steps against my goal. And then the intensity minutes, the active minutes, and then the last sport. Then my weather information, then my music controls, my heart rate. This is the number of stairs that I have climbed. This is my stress meter. This is my calendar, my battery. So this is actually an app that I downloaded from the Garmin Connect IQ App Store. This gives me a more detailed view of how my battery performance is, what has been doing, and how long it will last. Same thing, if you scroll from the top, it gives me all the installed apps first. I have only one app installed, that's the battery widget. And if I keep scrolling, then it takes me back to the rest of the widgets. Okay, so now if I was to track any activity, so if I'm going for walking, all I need to do is press this button, takes you to the screen, and then I only have walk indoor, and floors climb, because these are the ones that I'm currently doing, so I had the shortcut set. But if you click here, you can get the list of, sorry, I just started that activity. So run, treadmill, indoor track, bike indoor, oops, sorry guys, hold on. So bike indoor, pool, swim, and let's see, strength training. It has a lot many other options: cardio, elliptical, stair stepper, row indoor, navigate, and then there are more activities that can be added. So in terms of fitness tracking or sport tracking, Garmin gives you a very solid, robust set of options. Okay, let's take a look at the notifications. So these are my email notifications. If I click on there, it tap, you can go there, you tap more, then you can read the whole thing. So that's how it is. So it's pretty good. You should be able to read the entire content of the email just by scrolling, and then you can swipe down and go back up. Once you come back here, if you click on that 3 buttons, it also gives you the list of all the notifications that you have. So in terms of notification, it works really good. So that's pretty much everything, the functionality of the watch. Now let's talk about the battery life. I get a lot of notifications from all the different kinds of apps that I have on my phone. So for me, on a full charge, the watch lasts about 3.5 days to 4 days. And if I turn off some of the notifications from some of the apps that I don't really care about, then I am able to get about 5 to 6 days of battery life on a single charge, which is pretty impressive when compared to anything like the Misfit Vapor X, which is a Wear OS watch, or even the Samsung Galaxy Active 2, which is a Samsung Tizen OS watch. Now, let me quickly give you a comparison of the Garmin versus the Samsung as well as Wear OS. So, the Samsung Galaxy Active 2 has several advantages. So this is actually powered by Android, but unfortunately that Android is not Google stock pure Google Android. So Samsung took Google Android and they customized it and they created their own operating system, which they named it as Tizen. But it's basically a flavor of Android that's been customized by Samsung. What it means is you lose all the Google apps and instead you get Galaxy Play Store. So that's basically Samsung's store for different kinds of Samsung apps. So all the Google apps are replaced by Samsung's own app, which also means you lose a Google Assistant on here and you get the Samsung's voice assistant, which is Bixby, which I don't really like. I hate it so much that I actually turned it off, and I don't use it on my phone, neither I'm gonna ever use it on my watch. Then there are a few other things, like you lose Google Maps and you have Here Now Maps, which is decent, but it's not as good as Google Maps. So that's the kind of drawback which I think that you get on a Samsung watch, that you don't get any of the Google Maps and you have to deal with all these Samsung apps. Now, in terms of Wear OS watch, this is all the Wear OS watches are kind of similar. The only difference is how they look as well as the underlying hardware. So if you have something like the Fossil Gen 5, then they have the latest and the greatest. It's powered by the Snapdragon 3100 SoC. It has got 1 gigabyte of RAM and 8 gigs of storage, so that performs best. And then the next best is the Fossil Gen 4 Sport or something like the Misfit Vapor X. This is also powered by the Snapdragon 3100 SoC, but 512 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigs of internal storage. But overall, the performance is very close. So the advantage of having a Wear OS watch is that it's compatible both with your iPhone as well as Android. It also has Google Play Store, so you have access to all the Google apps as well as any app that's available on the Google Play Store. The Samsung watch is also compatible with your iPhone as well as a Samsung or an Android phone. But what I have seen is in terms of getting updates, whether it's apps or the internal software, the watch software, it feels like it does better if you have an Android device, or if you have a Samsung phone, it just pushes the updates a lot faster compared to if you are using it with any other Android phone, or even using on an iPhone. The Garmin also has compatibility, works equally well with both an iPhone as well as an Android phone. So now the Active 2 especially has some other advantages. This is the LTE, you can find them in an LTE model. So this one is the LTE stainless steel version, but this is the 40mm. So what it means is you can associate a phone line with this. So the watch can work independently and have its own mobile network and data network. So you should be able to call, text, or stream music while you are out and about, going up for a run, running or cycling or other stuff. It doesn't need dependency on a phone to get access to mobile network, because it has an embedded eSIM on it. It also has a microphone and speakerphone. So what it means is that you can make calls and you can talk through the watch, and that can be either using the embedded SIM inside the watch, or it could be when your watch is actually tethered to your phone and it works as a Bluetooth headset. It also has all sorts of other things, like lots of customization, lots of different apps that you get from the Galaxy store. And then it also has Samsung Pay, so it also supports mobile payments using your watch. It also has onboard storage for music and photos and other media files too. It supports wireless charging. You can also swim with this watch. It is also water and dust resistant. Similar features also on here. It supports Google Pay because it has NFC built in. It also has internal storage, so you should be able to transfer music on it and listen to them via Bluetooth headphone. But however, this doesn't have a speaker phone, so it does have a microphone, so the only thing that you can do is Google, invoke Google Assistant. I'm not going to say the word, otherwise it's going to come up. But the Fossil Gen 5 does also come with a speaker, so it's very similar to the Samsung in being able to talk through the watch through the speakerphone and a microphone. But unfortunately, the Wear OS watches, there's hardly, other than the TakeWatch Pro, I think none of them have LTE version, so no embedded SIM to have a line of their own on the watch. Same here with the Garmin. Doesn't have any kind of LTE version, so it relies solely on the GPS that is built on board on the watch, as well as being tethered to your phone for its functionality. So all of these three watches does have a built-in GPS chip, so they can work without having being tethered to your phone if you go out for running. So always make sure every activity tracker that you're looking at, make sure that they have an onboard GPS. If they don't have an onboard GPS, most of your workouts are a little bit inaccurate because they would use your phone to map your position and track your workouts, and that makes quite a bit of a difference. Now the other thing is about battery life. When it comes to battery life, Garmin's usually do the best. So this is about 4 to 5 days, and if you go up to the Phoenix series, you can actually get about 2 weeks of battery life. The Wear OS watches are the worst when it comes to battery life. It is at max a day, and if you tweak it, you would be able to get a couple of days out of it, or maybe a day and a half. The Samsung one is decent. It's somewhere in the between. You get about 2 days or with the tweaks, and if you use it normally with everything turned on, probably a day. I don't have the Apple Watch with me right now. The Apple Watch Series 5 is almost the same, a couple of days. If you have everything turned on, then probably it will last a little less. If you have some customizations, if you tweak it good, then it might last you 3 days. What's funny is with the Apple Watch newer series, the Series 4 and the Series 5, the battery life is actually what in my experience I saw, the battery life was lesser compared to my Series 342mm watch. That watch I was able to actually wear for 3 days on a single charge, which has not happened with either the Series 4 or the Series 5. Okay. So now the other thing, now that I have talked about overall, so in terms of pricing also, I think nobody can beat this Misfit Vapor X. This was available for only $40. It retails for $275. I don't know what happened to Fossil. They might be getting rid of the brand as such, or don't know, or they may be coming up with a newer the Snapdragon 4100 wearable SoC watches, but this is an absolute steal for $40. I don't think you would be able to get a better smartwatch fitness tracker for $40. Next is this Garmin Vivo Active for $70. This is an absolute steal. Because it has good battery life, it has Garmin Pay, it tracks all your workouts really well, it's very comfortable. And then if you have about $140, I think that's also a very good deal. Right now Amazon warehouse, if you buy a used open box Samsung Galaxy Active 244mm for $140, but that's the aluminum non-LTE version, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi only version. But even at $140, that's also a decent deal if you have a Samsung phone, and if you like Samsung and the Wear OS watches, they have both AMOLED screens. They look a lot brighter and nicer. Whereas the Garmin uses a transreflective LCD display, and the whole technology is completely different. It looks better on a bright sunlight, but looks a little bit dimmer or darker inside. But if you are someone who is kind of a more active person and cares about workouts and exercise, I would say go for the Garmin, because look for a few things like, does the watch support Garmin Pay? Does the watch have onboard storage? Does the watch connect to Garmin IQ? Because if you have all those three things, then I think you would be golden. That's the best that you can get out of Garmin. And Wear OS watches, once again, if you wear OS watches, they look good, the notifications are really good, you have access to all the Google Play Store apps, but they seriously lack when it comes to activity tracking, like accurate activity tracking. Google Fit is there, but Google Fit is not as good as at the level what Garmin would give you, or even Samsung S Health will give you, or even Apple Health will do it. Google Fit has become a lot better than it used to be, but it's not meant for any kind of serious workout or activity tracker. But these watches look more dressier, and you can do a lot. You can get the notifications, you can talk through your watch, invoke Google Assistant, and get tasks done. Also has Google Pay, so you should be able to make payments with your watch. And this also has, I have all three watches, so you can see this has its own place too. And then when it comes to the Samsung watch, this is kind of a mixed bag of everything. They compete with the Apple. They are made up of premium materials like stainless steel, also has LTE, so you can have your own line. It also has a decent amount of fitness tracking with the Samsung S Health or Samsung Health. It also has payment capabilities with Samsung Pay. It also has Super AMOLED screen, but most expensive of the lot. So overall, I would suggest that if you can get the Misfit Vapor X, even for $100, this is a solid watch. If you also able to grab the VivoActive 3 for $100, you would be very happy with it. And if you are not into fitness and you care about brands and you want a nicer display and you want you be able to talk through your watch, then the Samsung One might be something that you might be looking at. That's all, guys. That's pretty much everything for this video. I don't want to ramble anymore. This is already 26 minutes in the video. Hopefully this will help you decide whether you want to between the three different ecosystems, Samsung versus Google versus Garmin, and what kind of watch you are looking at and what pricing. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button. Also help my channel, share this video with your friends and family, and ask them, you subscribe as well as ask them to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, bye.